My name is Josh Hardy. I am 32 years old, co-owner of SMA and one of the coaches here as well.
What kind of people can you help?
I like to help a lot of people, having a lot of experience with the athletic side of things. I enjoy training athletes. That's a big fun part of my job, but probably more is just the general population, people who want to use those athletic principles, but to just be a better version of themselves, like move through pain, find different levels of fitness in their bodies. But I find that too much fixation on these like athletic goals can be a bit unproductive sometimes, and most people just want to be better parents or better employees or just be a little bit more enhanced in their life. And I really enjoy people that have those functional based, energy based goals where they just want to feel better inside their bodies and move better. And that's a lot of the general population.
What common problems do you find that people have with their fitness?
A lot of common problems. It tends to stem from like a lack of awareness. So there's a lack of body awareness that people have, and so they've got areas of their body that are stiff, they're sore, they're painful, they don't move well, but then they struggle to coordinate those areas. So they're stiff, they're immobile, and then outside of that, it's applying themselves. People really struggle with consistency, as do I as well. Consistency is not necessarily a muscle, but as Nav said in his interview as well, discipline is effectively a muscle, and we treat discipline like a muscle. And so people struggle with the art of consistency and applying themselves over an extended period of time as well.
Where were you before you entered the fitness industry?
I was a diesel mechanic, which I hated with a passion, but I am a fully qualified diesel mechanic before that. I was floating around through more so labour jobs. I always enjoyed doing the labour-based jobs versus the more academic style of jobs. My favourite job was actually a forklift driver. I loved being a forklift driver. It was a very dead-end job, but that chapter of being a forklift driver was just so fun. And driving forklifts, they're just so fun. Everything about driving forklifts are fun, and like just chatting with truckies and just being out in the yard in the warehouse was fun. But yeah, I'm a diesel mechanic by trade and now a fitness guy.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Still here in an enhanced version of SMA, whether that's the form of this space being a lot more upgraded, and with all these extra additions, we want to have things like the recovery center, the float tanks, the saunas, the ice baths, and it'd be really nice to have maybe like an in-house doctor and an in-house nutritionist and chiro and physio and specific therapists. We really like the idea of a health center, but if the market doesn't approve of that and we can't get the business like functioning really well based on the competition, it's also just as practical to have a couple of gyms, a couple of SMAs, and however it turns out is whatever it turns out to be. But I really just want to see continual growth in my personal life, Nav's personal life, the gym's life, and the members' life. I really want to see just that compounding effect happen over the next 5 years, and we're definitely going to be here for a while.
How has your inspiration for fitness changed over years?
Hugely. I go from from here to here, but I had a lot of visions of what I wanted to be and what I wanted to look like, and they were very aesthetic focused in my late teens to early 20s. As for most young guys, it's always about aesthetics and finding that level of self-confidence and feeling comfortable in our own skin. But going through that journey, and I ended up spending a lot of my 20s as a male stripper, I really got to understand that the pursuit of aesthetics is it's a hamster wheel. It's never ending. That the aesthetics doesn't fulfill really any holes, and trying to look more aesthetic didn't make me feel any better on the inside emotionally or even physically. And so my training has transformed over this time to be just heavily functional focused and heavily spine and ribs focused and effectively psychologically focused. We want to make sure that if you're training for moving well and training for function, you generally have a better improvement over your psychological health. Whereas if you train for aesthetics, there's a degradation of your psychological health because it's chasing this false image that's very hard to, it's very unsustainable as well to be really aesthetic all this time. So very much shifted from the aesthetic focus more to the functional focus, and it's because of that, it's very evolution and anatomy based now. It's all about moving well and therefore feeling well.
What is a quote you like and why does it resonate with you?
So this quote hit me in the feels. I won't be able to recite it perfectly, and I think it's been phrased in a couple of different ways, but it goes along the lines of your level of anxiety is proportionate to the rate of which you resist the world around you. I heard it from Peter Crone, and I was going through just a bit of a chapter where I really was going through that, and I really was unhappy about my environment, unhappy about the world, even global problems that are really not my business. They were just stuck in my mind. And having these, these visions of what I want my life to be and how I want to be, if I get so fixated on this particular goal, I either get excited because I'm going to get to that state, but I also get very anxious because I'm not currently in that space yet. And I've lived a lot of my 20s being either anxious or excited, which is arguably the same thing to the body. And the best medicine for that is more improving my frame of mind and just being okay with how life is now and seeing the beauty in how life is now and focusing more on how I show up on a regular basis, focusing more on those inputs and those actions rather than those actual outputs. So yeah, hopefully that summarizes your level of anxiety is proportionate to the rate of which you resist the world. Being able to accept the world for what it is and accept my world for what it is has been a great remedy to my levels of anxiety. So thank you, Peter Crone, for that quote.
What are some of your favorite fitness achievements?
Acutely, my favorite fitness achievements have all been around the endurance space. Doing the Ironman 70.3 for the second time was a big one for me because I did an Ironman 70.3 and I felt like I failed miserably based on doing that event, and that rubbed me up the wrong way, and that frustration I applied very well into training incredibly hard for 6 months, and just the improvement I had from one race to another race, I really thanked myself for doing the work before the race had started, and that taught me a lot. And doing a couple of 24-hour events, being able to prove to myself and show myself how well I can just stand and operate after not sleeping for 24 hours and continually moving, that was really, really eye-opening as well. Like I carried those lessons. But I honestly would say my most favorite fitness achievement is more of how I've been able to maintain fitness and health over the last decade and beyond. Is I find that falling off the wagon is so incredibly easy to do. Even in times of me falling off the wagon, I've been able to still sustain a level of health and fitness that I'm actually very proud of. So my most proudest achievement is actually my applied consistency over time. Even when it's low, I've still had decent results. I'm very proud of that.
What do you love to learn about?
Anatomy, physiology, and psychology. And effectively, I'll throw in philosophy and history into that as well, because philosophy and history, there's just so much wisdom in there, and there's so much information that brings a lot of peace of mind. There's like a slight other quote that I enjoy is, in order to understand the future, you need to understand the past. And so when I have questions about the body, I can revert to anatomy and physiology, and all the answers are there when you follow the map of the body. And same again when I'm confused about problems or global problems or mental problems, philosophy and history, the answers are always there as well. So those are my favorite things to learn about.
If fitness and personal training wasn't your career, what would it be?
It's a good question. I did think about it. These days it would probably be like some sort of nutritionist or chef or cook. It would be in one of two spaces. It would be either the psychology route or the nutrition route. I love the practical side of cooking, and food and having good nutrition is just so fulfilling for me, and I really enjoy cooking. I look forward to cooking. I get disappointed when I haven't been cooking enough, and I just never feel as good when I spend more of my time buying food. And then also with the same thing, I love connecting with people, interacting with people, coaching and mentoring. I like those those types of roles. Yes, if it wasn't nutrition, it would be psychology based, and there's plenty of career pathways that can include both of those as well, and so that's where I would be.
Quick fire. Favorite gym exercise and why?
Probably go the Jeffy curl. The Jefferson curl is a favorite. I just put it in every program. It is a forward bend where we stand up with a weight and we curl the spine down, and it's not even exclusively a Jefferson curl. You could even say a roll down, which is a Pilates based movement, which is just a non-weighted version of it. Anything where the spine is able to roll forward and lengthen in the forward direction or the north direction, but then pick itself back up. So spinal extension is something that people lack, and spinal integrity or spinal health is integral for overall health and well-being and posture and performance. So it has to be a spinal exercise for me.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Look, a frustration that I do still struggle with to this day is like laziness. I struggle a lot with laziness, but that's also directed at myself as well. I get frustrated myself when I'm lazy, but this is a pet peeve. Yeah, I hate watching people cut corners. I hate people lying, especially to themselves and therefore the people around them. Yeah, laziness and lying, pretty much all forms of that I struggle with, and especially when I see myself doing it myself as well. Yeah, I can't stand it.
What's something embarrassing that you've done?
Oh, I got so many. I was recently embarrassed when I was in a little bit of a Muay Thai journey. I joined an MMA gym a couple of months ago and then I got injured, so I stopped. But I was just shadow boxing and I just threw this massive kick and I had fully slipped out from mine. I just kicked so hard, it took both feet with me and I landed on my side. But the way I did it, I was daydreaming, so I was already off with the fairies, and then people were watching me be off with the fairies, and then I slipped on myself, and everyone was actually having a water break, and I'm like, I don't need a water break, so I just shadow boxed, and I was like, what? And I slammed. That was pretty embarrassing. But the other one that comes to mind is actually I was in a stripping competition. So I was performing about it was like a who could be the best male stripper thing. This is back in my old days. And I had this routine that I'd rehearsed, and I had this maneuver where I was going to have the girl on the chair and I was like going to cartwheel over her, and then I would land like facing my back to her and then like slide back and then like body roll. And anyway, it was a cool little maneuver, but I had to have it rehearsed, and I brought my girlfriend at the time, and I kicked her in the face when I did the cartwheel, and we were very focused on the gym when I was rehearsing. I was very stressed and underslept, so when I got to the club and performed this show, I'd kicked her in the face, and I didn't even really realize that I'd done it, and I was facing my back to her, so I couldn't see a reaction, but I was able to see the crowd's reaction, and based on the crowd's reaction, it had affected me enough that it took my edge off the rest of the performance, and I didn't win, and I was actually so convinced that I was gonna win, and it just crushed me a little bit because I went in cocky basically and failed because I was cocky and complacent. So that was embarrassing.
If you had to pick a fad diet style, what would it be?
Definitely carnivore or paleo. Again, being very history, evolution based. It's anything that is relative to what how our ancestors would have behaved, and so I love the rule of when you go to the grocery shop, pick foods that only your ancestors would recognize, which does include some of the grains and the rice as well. Yeah, as long as a diet that includes like fruit, vegetables, meat, eggs, like raw milks and stuff. Not that I love milk, but and nuts and seeds. And I'm not against some of the information that is also against a lot of seeds and is also against a lot of vegetables as well. They don't affect me too much, but I could also see myself like doing a period of time where I'm not even having any vegetables or nuts and seeds as well, which is effectively what carnivore is.
What's your favorite comfort food?
Brekkie wraps. Last time we filmed this video, it was burgers, and I still love burgers, but is it a tortilla? A tortilla with bacon and eggs in it, and a hash brown, a bit of sauce, and some even spinach. Oh, I could just eat a brekkie wrap every day without fail. I don't, but I could.
What did you have before this video?
Brekkie wrap. There's the other half of brekkie wraps in my office, and I'll still eat it cold.
Any annoying habits that you do?
I'm always late. And I hate it. That's probably my biggest thing that I'm embarrassed about the most, but people in close proximity, usually my close friends, not so much family's pretty chill with it, but close friends, clients and colleagues, because I talk to them about that being a struggle, and there'll be just days where I really concentrate and then I'm on time. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm on time, but it's just this default mechanism. When I default back to my default settings, my natural Josh, instantly late, and that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing when I'm trying to be early and then I'm still late. I feel very useless, to be honest. So that's my thing.
Do you have any hidden talents?
Yeah, I would say my hidden talents are more around just more extended fitness skills, I guess. So I am really good at cooking. I don't know if that's a hidden talent, but a lot of people are sometimes surprised when I've made things and oh, I didn't know you could cook. I'm reasonably talented on the tools as well, being a diesel mechanic. I understand tools and the practical work, so I do enjoy. I hate diesel mechanics, but I enjoy the building side of things. So some people are surprised when they find out that I can do some renovation type work as well. That's a hidden talent. And my other hidden talent is body work and massage. I'm self-taught to do massage, so I don't do it very often, but when I do it, I do get people oh wow, this was actually, I didn't know you were able to do this as well. So they're probably my main hidden talents.
If you could have any magic superpower, what would it be?
I could create fire whenever I wanted to, and I could fly. You know that
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, him. Yeah. The Fantastic Four guy is one of my favorite superheroes, and Spider-Man was also my favorite superhero. Spider-Man's pretty I'd be happy with either of those guys. Spider-Man can't fly though, but he can kind of like sling his webs around. But if I was Spider-Man, I'd have to be the one where he organically produces, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, where he organically produces web. I ain't doing I'm not setting up a secret laboratory to make my own web and stuff. I'm not doing that, so. Or I could fly. Flying would be sick, and flame and fire.
What's your go-to dance move?
I've got, my old one used to be like, when we used to go clubbing when we were like younger, my original go-to, you hold your drink by the rim, and then you can bounce your hips left and right, and then then you can like plant a foot, and then you can go this, like that. And I like to smile a lot because then it shows how much fun I'm having. But you never really spill your drink. But one that's been really good lately is like, you know, the side step? I've been enjoying a lot of side steps lately because maybe in my training it's a lot more like lateral and stability based training. I'm feeling more balanced when I'm like popping sideways as well. But yeah, I don't really have a go-to dance move because I've learned, well, I guess my style of dancing is actually just to feel soft and let the body relax. And so if I'm like, you got to feel the beat, you know, and then it starts to, the music starts to just take over the body, and then you know what I mean? So sometimes I don't have a dance move. It's just, I just got to get into the dancing area and then just relax in that space, and then the body will naturally want to move in however it wants to move. So
what would be your worst punishment?
It's like technically silence, not being able to talk to people, but when I do like my own like silent experiences or silent retreats, they're actually incredibly eye-opening and powerful. So that also becomes a very rewarding experience. But in general, most forms of isolation, the absence of being able to communicate is usually my main, what I hate the most. I love interacting with people. I'm very extrovert driven, and when people aren't around, I don't enjoy it that much.
Beautiful, thank you.
Beautiful. That's my 10-ish questions. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.